The Adventure Time finale they killed before it could air. Cartoon Network sold Adventure Time as a fantasy show about a boy and his dog. What they actually aired was a post-nuclear apocalypse where every human except one child is dead. They aired a clinical depiction of dementia on Monday afternoons for 8 years without ever calling it that. They aired a villain whose explicit purpose, stated on screen, is the extinction of all life. And when Pendleton Ward tried to end the story the way it was supposed to end, they stopped him. 4 pillars, all buried in plain sight. None of it speculation. Adventure Time was rejected by Nickelodeon, twice. Before a single episode aired, 2 separate executives at the same network passed on it. Cartoon Network picked it up in 2010. What followed was 10 seasons and one of the most beloved animated series ever made. And one of the most quietly disturbing things ever put on children's television. The show ran for 8 years. Cartoon Network announced it would end in September 2016. The finale aired September 3rd, 2018. 2 years between the announcement and the ending. 2 years in which the writers knew the story had to close, and what eventually made it to screen was a version of an ending, not the ending. Today, we're going through what was always there and what was taken out before you could see it. We're going in order. Let's open the first pillar. Pillar number 1, the nuclear world. Pillar 1, the land of Ooo is built on nuclear holocaust. This is not a fan theory. This is the show's documented canon, visible from the first episode to the last. The land of Ooo is the post-apocalyptic remains of Earth following an event called the Mushroom War. A global conflict involving nuclear weapons that resulted in the near-complete extinction of the human race. The partially submerged cities visible in outdoor landscape shots are the ruins of the civilization that existed before the bombs. The mutated creatures, the magical fallout, the strange physics of the world, all of it is the biological and environmental aftermath of a nuclear exchange. Cartoon Network marketed a fantasy adventure show. The show they aired was set inside the graveyard of human civilization. Finn is the last known human being living in Ooo, not as a dramatic metaphor, literally. A 14-year-old boy is the only surviving member of his species in the land where the story takes place. Every talking candy person, every vampire, every shape-shifting dog, the mutated or supernatural result of the world that used to exist before it ended. The show confirms this across multiple seasons. It is not hidden, it is simply never explained to the audience watching. What most people do not realize is that Cartoon Network never told parents any of this. Their promotional materials focused on Finn and Jake's friendship, the colorful world, the comedic tone of the early episodes. The nuclear apocalypse was visible in the background of every exterior shot from day one. Nobody flagged it in the promotional materials. Nobody put it in the content description. Pillar 1 verdict, the apocalypse was always there. They counted on you not looking too closely. Pillar number 2, Simon Petrikov. Simon Petrikov was a scholar, an antiquarian, someone who studies and catalogs old objects and their histories. He found a crown at a Norwegian flea market. The crown gave him power over ice. The crown also, slowly and without possibility of reversal, took everything else. The show traces his transformation from a normal, intellectually curious, deeply loving man into the Ice King. A delusional, erratic character who kidnaps princesses because he cannot tolerate the silence of his own mind. By the time the series begins, Simon Petrikov is gone. The Ice King does not know he used to be anyone else. He has no memory of Betty, the woman he loved. He has no memory of Marceline, the young girl he sheltered during the apocalypse while losing his mind piece by piece. He does not remember the songs he wrote to her during those years. He does not know why she matters to him. On October 15th, 2012, Cartoon Network aired an episode called I Remember You. In it, the Ice King shows Marceline a notebook full of songs he wrote during the war. Songs she recognizes because he sang them to her as a child. He does not remember writing them. He does not remember her. He is asking her to help him make music. She is looking at evidence that the person she loved no longer exists inside the body standing in front of her. I'm not going to lie. That episode is one of the most emotionally precise depictions of dementia and cognitive loss in any medium. Not just animation, any medium. It aired on a Monday at 7 p.m. No content warning, no parental guidance notice, just 11 minutes of what it looks like when someone you love can no longer find their way back to who they were. Things get even crazier when you understand that the show did this across multiple seasons without once naming what it was. Cartoon Network never framed Simon's arc as a dementia narrative in any of their marketing. Parents who sat down with their children to watch a funny cartoon about a wizard who kidnaps princesses got something else entirely. Something a lot more accurate about loss than most adult dramas ever manage. Pillar 2 verdict: clinical, precise, aired without explanation. Pillar 3, The Lich. The Lich is the primary villain of Adventure Time. His origin is a nuclear bomb, specifically the mushroom bomb that triggered the Mushroom War and ended human civilization. He is a living embodiment of what that weapon did to the world, a force of entropy, contamination, and extinction that cannot be destroyed, only contained. His goal, stated explicitly across multiple episodes, is the extinction of all life. Not conquest, not control, extinction. The Lich does not want to rule the world, he exists to end it. This is his stated purpose as designed and written by the show's creators. It is not subtext, it is text. Pendleton Ward confirmed in interviews that the Lich represents a specific philosophical position, that destruction and creation exist within the same cycle, that entropy and life are not opposites, but expressions of the same force working in different directions. This is the argument Cartoon Network aired for children across 10 seasons of television, delivered through a villain born from a nuclear weapon whose only function is to argue that everything currently alive should stop being alive. What most people do not realize is that this puts Adventure Time in a very specific category. Most children's entertainment frames evil as an obstacle to be defeated. The Lich is a philosophical position the universe itself may be correct about. He is not wrong within the internal logic of the show. He is simply losing to Finn, for now. Season 5 ends with the Lich transforming into a new life form, a giant infant born from the force of extinction itself. It is a direct metaphor for the relationship between death and renewal. It aired as a children's animated plot twist. Cartoon Network put this on at 7:30 p.m. on weeknights. Pillar 3 verdict: not a cartoon villain, a philosophical argument. That is the record. Pillar 4, the ending they killed. Cartoon Network announced Adventure Time would end in September 2016. The finale, Come Along With Me, aired September 3rd, 2018. Within a short window after the finale, Cartoon Network announced Adventure Time: Distant Lands, a series of specials continuing the story on HBO Max. Hold those two facts in sequence. The show ended, then the story continued on a different platform with different content standards. Come Along With Me is widely considered by the show's dedicated fanbase to be incomplete. The Golb storyline, a cosmic entity that absorbs and destroys, is introduced, escalated, and resolved within the finale's runtime. Marceline and Princess Bubblegum's relationship, which had been built through years of careful, subtle storytelling, is confirmed in a single scene. The show closes with a time jump showing Oo's distant future. It is an ending. It is not the ending. Adventure Time: Distant Lands, produced for HBO Max, continues storylines the finale did not resolve. BMO in space, Finn and Jake separated, Simon and Betty. Stories that Came Along With Me implied were finished, were not finished. They required 4 additional specials on a premium streaming service to approach completion. What most people do not realize is what this sequence actually reveals. Cartoon Network had 10 seasons of carefully constructed mythology, a creator who had mapped where that mythology was supposed to land, and a finale slot that could not contain all of it. The result is an ending on a kid's cable channel and a continuation on HBO Max. 2 halves of the same story's resolution, split across 2 platforms and 2 slightly different audiences. The ending that aired is the ending Cartoon Network approved for children's television. The darker resolution, to the Lich's argument, to Finn's place as the last human, to Simon's arc, those conclusions exist in the writers' rooms and in the 4 specials produced after the fact. They do not exist in the finale. Come Along With Me aired, everything else stayed behind. Pillar 4 verdict: the show ended, the story didn't. Those are not the same thing. The verdict. Here is the complete file. Cartoon Network aired a show set in the ruins of a nuclear apocalypse and marketed it as a fantasy adventure. They aired a decade-long, clinically accurate depiction of dementia without labeling it. They aired a villain whose entire purpose is to argue that all life should end. And when the show closed, the ending that made it to screen was not the full ending the creator planned. Adventure Time is not a dark show hiding beneath a bright surface. It is a dark show that trusted its audience to find what was there. The apocalypse is in the backgrounds. Simon's loss is in every scene where the Ice King almost remembers. The Lich's argument runs through every season of the mythology. And the ending, the real one, is somewhere in the space between the finale and the 4 specials required to approach it. Pendleton Ward built a show about the end of the world. Cartoon Network let him build most of it, and then they built their own ending. I'm not going to lie, what survived was extraordinary, but the show it was supposed to be lives in the distant land's gap. In the finale scene that closes before it should. In the mythology the series spent 10 years earning. Which pillar hit you hardest? The nuclear world they never explained, Simon's dementia arc, the Lich's actual argument, or the ending they couldn't finish on time? Let me know in the comments, and hit subscribe. If you want to know what Nickelodeon buried in a show that makes this one look restrained, the Invader Zim case file is already on this channel. The creator lost the rights to his own show. The unfinished episodes are in a vault. The video is here.